Hi everyone, in this video we are going to take a look at the new makeup items being offered by Too Faced in their new Pretty Rich collection. This collection and these items are available through multiple retailers including Sephora and Too Faced's own website. I will put a link in the description box as always to where you can find this if you're interested in purchasing any of the items, as well as a link to Ebates so that if you do make any sort of online purchase at pretty much any retailer, you can get some cash back on your order. Remember to subscribe to the channel. There are 2 or 3 important videos upcoming, so stay tuned. One of them will be a holiday gift giving guide for items that are under $25 and that you can find at many local retailers. The next is going to be a What's New in Beauty video, as I do each month, and another one is going to be for some really exciting new L'Oreal lip products that by the time the video goes up will have just released onto the market for you to purchase. All right, let's get looking at the new makeup items in Too Faced's Pretty Rich collection. So here are some of the items in the collection. They also do include, I believe, a brush and some glittery lip glosses. Those I'm not going to show you in this video, because they were not available at the time of purchase, and they are sort of on the sheer side. They do look very pretty, but the differences don't seem to be major when it comes to each color. In this video, we'll focus on the eyeshadow palette and the 2 new shades of their diamond highlighter. So let's start by swatching the 2 new shades of Too Faced Diamond Light Multi-Use Highlighters. This is a product that was released maybe about a year ago in its original incarnation. They retail for $34 each. This was a product that I thought was maybe a little on the gimmicky side, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I liked the original formula and color and effect. So I have high hopes for these 2 new shades. These are supposed to be highlighters that are infused with crushed diamond powder and light reflecting pearls, and they're supposed to have a liquid to powder formula. Don't know if I agree with that part, but they definitely have a feel that's very airy. So they come in a box like this and they just pop open. They don't have any mirror inside or anything like that. They are in the shape of a raised diamond, which is pretty cool. So the first new shade is called Canary Diamond, and the second new shade is called Fancy Pink Diamond. We'll start by swatching Canary Diamond with an angled powder brush. This is described as being a vivid, rich gold. Seems to be mostly shimmer on the first layer. Let's add a second layer here. And I would say this definitely does have flashes of gold, but then it also has pretty distinct flashes of a kind of like a copperized pink hue. I'm gonna add a little more. I'm trying to build up. It is mostly shimmer, which is very pretty, but I thought there would be a little more color. Okay, here's what I'm looking at up close, or something close to what I see in person up close. As you can see, it's mostly shimmer there. All right, and next to that, we're swatching Fancy Pink Diamond. This is described as a vivid warm pink. So this one is a beautiful sheen as opposed to having glitter particles like with the first one. I'm getting a little bit of flaking. Let me show you the pan here. It looked like even with just the brush, there were a little bit of these flakes, larger flakes that came off the pan. So there's one layer. I'm gonna add a second one. And I don't know if I would say this is a warm pink. I think this is a pretty cool toned pink color. And again, just a little more for extra measure. Okay, so there is that one up close. Again, this is a beautiful, very natural, more of a sheen as opposed to a shimmer. There is a bit of sparkle to it, but it's much more subtle than with the first shade. Okay, so overall, actually kind of a more surprising on the subtle side effect when you use a powder brush to apply these shades. All right, so these are multi-use. Let's do some finger swatches to see what other kind of effect we can get out of these. We have Canary Diamond. Ooh, that is so pretty. So definitely something you could actually use your fingers to apply something like this to the cheeks if you really wanted something of a stronger effect. Or you can probably use these as eyeshadows also. And then next to it is Fancy Pink Diamond. Go ahead and add a second layer, see. Both very different in their finishes, both very pretty. All right, there's the shimmer and highlight up close. All right, let's move on to the Pretty Rich Diamond Light Eyeshadow Palette. This retails for $49. Again, the same diamond shaped, kind of cushiony packaging, the exact same as with the highlighters. Magnetic closure, opens up, has a full, not a full-size mirror, but a fair-sized mirror in the lid. You are getting a total of 16 eyeshadow shades inspired by the multifaceted beauty of real diamonds. You have vivid glitter finishes, creamy mattes, opulent shimmers, and precious pearl finishes. The 4 shades that you see in the diamond shape pans are pressed gel glitter shadows that are supposed to work by self-adhering to minimize any sort of glitter fallout. And then the rest of the shades are, of course, normal powder eyeshadow formula. All right, here is how the palette is set up. Normally I will go by row, top row to bottom row, and I will swatch these over eyeshadow primer from left to right. But I think this time what I'll do is to do that, but then skip the diamond gel glitter formula shades and just swatch those 4 separately on their own, one after another. All right, we're gonna swatch just the powder eyeshadows first. So the first one in the first row is called It's Designer. This is a matte cream shade. Fancy That is a matte taupe. Filthy Rich, it says it's a silvered espresso. Didn't get a super thick layer or even smooth layer, so I'm gonna add a second. In the second row, we have Clutch Your Pearls. This is a pink pearl shift. So it's mostly shimmer, but it shifts between that white and pink color. This one is, I don't think intended to be really opaque, but I'm gonna layer it just to build it up in case you did want to use it alone as opposed to more of a topper shifter kind of way. Princess Cut is a gilded pink with silver sparkle. And not a great swatch there. I'm gonna add a second layer, do a little bit more of a dabbing motion. The quote-unquote silver sparkle in here is definitely larger, more sparse glitter particles. Highly Seductive is a rose glitter. Again, doing a second layer. I think I forgot to remind everyone, if you are new to the channel, I always do these swatches over eyeshadow primer. In the third row, you have It's Cashmere, which is a light kind of camel color. And I forgot to say it has a matte finish. The next shade is called Don't Care At All, which is a metallic warm gold. Again, it seems kind of dry on first application, so I'm layering more product on here. I don't know if I would call this really gold. It seems almost like a peachy gold or coppery shade. Oh, That's Rich is a matte, warm, deep brown. In the final row, we have Coal Under Pressure. This is a black with silver sparkle. Very pretty. Silver Spoon is described as a metallic charcoal. This has a very distinct purple tone. And one of the few metallic shades where I don't think we'll need a second layer. And the last powder eyeshadow shade is called Set the Jewel Tone. This is a royal blue to purple shift. Gorgeous color here. Formula on there too. I picked up just a little more product to build this up, smooth it out. Okay, there are your 12 powder eyeshadow shades from the palette. We'll take a look up close at the shades and their finishes. I am surprised at how we had to put 2 layers of all the shimmering shades on almost all the shimmering shades, whereas the matte shades just went on super smoothly and opaquely. All right, we're moving on to swatching the pressed gel glitter shades. It says to apply them with either your finger or a dense flat brush. So let's swatch them with our fingers, and we're going to start with Diamonds for Breakfast. And this is a silver champagne glitter. The second shade is Diamond Glitterati. It is a metallic, it says Dusty Rose. A little more. Fluent in Diamonds is a gold glitter. This one has kind of pigment underneath the shimmer. It's not just glitter particles like the first two. I'm gonna add a little more to make this shimmer more even. And last is Diamond Life. This is supposed to be a holographic multi-sparkle glitter. This one seems much more like a top coat. And this one also feels the most gritty. It feels pretty harsh on the skin. I don't know how pleasant this would be to put on your eye. Okay, those are your 4 glitter top coats. In terms of the formula, it is very much a formula that doesn't seem to be giving you fallout. I don't see anything flying away or the glitter particles dropping off the skin. They stay put very well. Here are the shades up close. The first 2 feel gritty and kind of sandy. The gold shade is the most smooth feeling. And then this last holographic shade is the most harsh. It feels like an exfoliating scrub on your skin. So just, if you're gonna use it, use a gentle patting motion. Okay, so there you have the eyeshadow palette and 2 new highlighters from Too Faced Pretty Rich collection. In terms of the highlighting powders, I actually really like the finishes. They were not as dramatic and color forward as I was expecting them to be, but I actually really enjoy the finishes of both of them. I think the formula is very nice. And I like the fact that the finger swatches give you a variety of uses that you can gain out of each of those shades. When it comes to the eyeshadow palette, I was just a little surprised that there was more trouble in using the shimmering shades as opposed to the matte shades. Although when it comes down to it, it is more important for the matte shades to be easier to blend and apply than it is for the shimmering shades, because typically speaking, you're patting on the more metallic shimmering shades on the lid with a flatter, denser brush, as opposed to trying to buff it and blend it over the crease area when it comes to matte shades. But still, it would be a lot nicer if those shimmering shades had a smoother formula. The only real one that didn't seem to apply initially with some sort of patchiness or dryness was Silver Spoon. That said, when you layered those shimmering shades, the effect and finish that you got was really pretty. So they're the kind of formula, they have the kind of formula that you will just have to work with if you want to get an optimal result, and you can get there by just working with them a little more. In terms of the pressed glitters, I appreciate the formula. I think that Too Faced has found a way to supply people with a glitter that they can apply to the lids without having to first put on a glue or doing something much more complicated in multiple steps. That said, practically speaking, I would never be using these shades except for maybe once in an entire year. I'm clearly not probably in the demographic that this kind of palette is aimed at. So if the glittering lid is something that you do semi-regularly and you're really into, then this actually is a great palette for you to have everything at your fingertips to make a complete look without having to reach for anything else. If you fall outside that demographic, then at least 4 of the shades in this palette are kind of going to be lost on you, and your money is going to go towards, realistically, only 12 shades that you would practically use instead of 16. All right, let me know in the comment section below what you think of this collection or any of the individual items. I hope this video was helpful to you if you were curious about any part of this collection. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Stay tuned for upcoming videos, and I'll see you in one of those future